Is it lonely being on the road by yourself? Are you ex-military? Did you sell up or have a fallback place to go to if it goes tits up? Caravan life Q&A. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning to film this for you. It's dark out. Just saying, hope you appreciate. So I've been asking on several platforms for feedback and questions about van life to do this Q&A, and I've had quite a few questions, quite a few responses across Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let's get into it. I've written them all down, so I've got them all in one place. So we'll start at the top. Is it lonely being on the road by yourself, or do you make new friends wherever you go? It's not lonely. I don't find it lonely at all, but I did live on my own before living on the road, so maybe that makes a difference. I get asked this question a lot. Are you lonely doing it by yourself? Like a lot of the people I meet in the campgrounds and find out I'm living in the caravan on my own, they ask if I get lonely. No, I don't mind my own company. Often after socializing and meeting lots of new people, which I love meeting the people on the road, but then quite often I'm really happy just to come back, sit in the caravan, be an introvert, do my own thing, do some video editing, read a book. I like my own time, my own space, so I don't get lonely. I can see how it would be a bit more fun and a bit more exciting and have some real positive aspects of doing this with somebody, but I'm happy, so that's all that matters. Did you sell up or have a fallback place to go to if it goes tits up? I sold up and I have no plan B, no place to go to if it goes tits up. I don't even know what tits up means. Like, how can it go tits up? I don't know, like worst case scenarios, I run out of money and I live in my caravan and have to go get a real job again. That's like worst case scenario, right? Like there's nothing, I don't know what people are so scared of. Yeah, if you have enough money to live at least for a while, like choose how long you want to do it. I don't, like, what can go wrong? I mean, shit, I could crash the Landcruiser and Caravan and lose all of that and insurance don't pay out and then I have nothing. And then I have to buy something else. But, I don't know, like, what's the I've just, worst case scenario, I have to go get a job again. The worst bit about this probably is the fact that selling up, it's going to be very hard to get back into buying a house again until I really sort a decent income, because I'll have a really good deposit on a house, but no one's going to give me a mortgage if I don't have an income. So I don't know, but I'll just worry about that later. For now, I'm just worrying about being on the road and shit. I'll worry about that stuff at the end of the year. I think end of this year, start looking at some income and stuff, maybe. We'll see. Don't know. But I don't think I'm ready for another house again anytime soon, so I'm not worried about a plan B. But thank you for your concern. Did you learn outdoor and self-sufficient skills growing up or as an adult? This is a good question, and this is from Tasman at NZ Wild Adventures. And if you have not seen Tasman's YouTube channel, you should go and check it out, because this dude is amazing, like epic. The adventures he goes on far outdo any adventures I go on. This guy is mad. Very cool dude, and goes off in his 3.6 meter, I think, inflatable boat and just like went right around Fiordland recently on a solo 30 odd day adventure. It's a 4-part series on his YouTube channel. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel down below because I think it's worth checking out. He's so good. If you follow my channel for adventure, then you probably already know who he is. But if you follow my channel for diving and caravan stuff, you probably don't. And if you're into some pretty wild, rugged, remote New Zealand adventures, go follow Tasman. He's a good dude. I've actually never met him, but it'd be cool to bump into him one day. So thanks for that on Tasman. Almost forgot to answer your question. No, I didn't learn any of this stuff growing up. Did grow up in a farming community, but didn't learn any of this stuff. Didn't do any hunting or self-sufficient skills. Grew up with a single mum, and she didn't hunt, so I didn't hunt. I did show interest in hunting when I was younger, and did go out with a mate and shoot a few goats, etc. But no, and the self-sufficiency stuff, like the gardening and all that I did back home, that was kind of unexpected. Nana always had a garden growing up that I was interested in, but I never paid enough attention, and now wish that I'd got some more info off her while she was alive, but never mind. And then I just bought my house, which had gardens and orchards, etc., and just really got into it. I didn't buy it for the gardens and orchard, I just bought it because it was a great location and a cool property, and then really got into it and kind of went full send into the self-sufficiency and gardening and growing my own fruit and veggies. So no, learned it all later on in life. Hunting, I got into hunting at about 23, I think, properly, and diving around about the same time. Yeah, and then the gardening, self-sufficiency stuff was 28 when I bought my house. So no, all later on. Are you ex-military? No. I have been asked this a few times, and I don't know where it comes from. Must be something about my mannerisms, I suppose, that come across as military. Not only did one person ask this, another person commented saying that ex-military can tell ex-military, but they got it wrong this time. So yeah, no. What made you choose that make? There's so many out there to choose from. That is a very good point. There are a lot out there to choose from, and I did travel basically the entire country looking at almost all of the caravans. There were a couple I would have still liked to have looked at, but I looked at the vast majority of different makes out there. And I chose this one because I felt it was great value for money. There are other caravans out there that are just as high quality, maybe even higher quality, I don't know, but the price tag was exceptionally higher as well. So I liked this value for money, and I really liked the setup, I liked the layout, I liked how the cabinetry is finished, I like how strong the cabinetry is, like everything is so damn solid. Honestly, you go look at some of the other ones and the cabinetry is built quite flimsy, and I don't trust it. These appear to be built really well, and I've now been living in this for 6 months and I've had no structural issues. Like it's solid. I think it's built to take the hiding I'm going to give it and have been giving it. So yeah, that's why I just felt it was good build quality for a reasonable price. Is your plan to move every day, or will you stay in places for extended times? Jason Russell 1902. No, I don't have any plans. Some places I will move on each day, and other places I'll stay for an extended period of time. So far I have stayed at a few places for a week, and I've stayed at one place for 18 days, which is not too normal. Other places I've only stayed at overnight. So it really depends on the area, what I want to do in the area, if there's some hunting, diving, fishing, or if it's a pass-through kind of place. Have you been uncomfortable towing anywhere? Yes, Cardrona Pass. was probably silly of me to tow over that anyway with the 3-ton Caravan. I didn't know beforehand that I shouldn't really tow over it, and I did see the signs on the way over saying max length and not recommended for towing, but I wasn't too concerned about the max length thing. I was only a metre over. But the hills and the windy corners there are gnarly as you're heading south coming down towards Queenstown. The windy 180 degree corners there are pretty full on, and the corners themselves are not bad, but it's just a constant hill and you're constantly on the brakes and it's really hard on your vehicle. I was at times putting the override button on the brake controller to turn the Caravan brakes on without having to brake in the Cruiser, just to give the Cruiser a break, and that was tough on it. And then silly me, a week later decided I would go back over the Cardrona Pass instead of the 30-minute detour around, and thought I had blown the Landcruiser up on the way up. Thankfully it just got hot, the trans temps got hot I believe, and it went into limp mode, and to be perfectly honest, I almost caused a crash getting off the road, because I just had to get off the road. Otherwise I was going to block the whole damn Cardrona Pass off one way. So I bailed off the road in a spot where I waited until I could see as best as I could for oncoming traffic. And anyway, apologies to whoever that was coming. It was not ideal. I'm sorry. But I had to get off the road. How do you manage financially? Well, I don't. No, I did write a blog recently about what it costs to get into van life. Doesn't really cover living financially, but if you want to have a read of that, see what it cost me to get into this life, then I'll put a link down below for that blog. But otherwise, financially, I'm kind of just living off savings and my house money at the moment. Most of my house money is invested, so I'm getting returns on that, but I don't actually see the returns yet because it goes back into shares and into my term deposit account, so I don't actually get to see any of that. So I'm really just living off my house money and my savings, although I sold my Ford Ranger not long ago to a friend, and that's on a 3-year payment plan, so he's been paying that, and so that's so far seems to be like a 1 or 2 grand a month, so that's great. It's just a nice little income. And also, when I got rid of my business, I sold all the stock, and I gave that away with a 3-year payment plan. That was almost a year ago, 9 months ago, I think, 9-10 months ago, and I am yet to see a cent of that. So I'm hoping some money starts coming from that, because that would really help on over a 3-year term as well. That would be great. Otherwise, that's about it for income. The ute now, and hopefully the business stuff, and then interest. And a slight little wee tiny bit from YouTube, as it's monetized now, but really it's a splash in the pool. It's I don't make really a little bit of money off YouTube, so yeah, at the moment I am just dwindling my savings a little bit, but that's okay. The plan was basically I use my savings, my house money, and I'm just buying myself time to figure it all out. So sometime over the next couple of years, hopefully I'll have an income again, with any luck while being on the road, and then I'll be sorted. If I can cover my expenses in the next 18 months or so, that would be a huge win, and then I'll build from there. But yeah, at the moment, just using my savings as if like anyone else who was traveling would be, so it's not really that weird. I've just tried to buy myself some time to figure it all out. This is a life reset, I've called it, so just got to figure it all out. Which cameras do you use? So I use the main camera, is Sony A7 A73, and that usually has the Tamron 18 to 300mm lens on it. Just great all round, bit big, bit bulky, not that bulky for a 300mm lens though, and it's just awesome. I can hold the camera and vlog with it, and then I can turn around and zoom in on an animal 250 meters away, and the quality is just amazing. I guess if you're a real photographer, videographer nut, then that lens isn't amazing compared to some expensive ones. This is on the cheaper end, but yeah, Sony A7 III with the Tamron lens usually. DJI Mini 4 for the drone. I bought that the week before I hit the road, I think, and I've been really happy with it. The quality, as you guys have seen and you guys keep commenting, the footage is amazing. I'm really happy with that drone. It's been up in some pretty decent winds as well. The only bummer is I just wish I could use it more places. I can't use it on dockland and in dock campgrounds, so I can't show a lot of the places I stay. I can't show with the drone, which is unfortunate, but them's the silly rules. And until very recently I was using GoPro Hero 12 Black, but I have just switched to DJI Action 5. I changed due to better reviews on the DJI online for low light filming. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good camera in the bush for hunting and also for diving. I have not tested it on either of those yet. I have not used the camera enough to give any recommendations on GoPro versus DJI. No idea. I just know that I love my drone. The footage is amazing. If they have done almost as well on the Action Osmo 5 thing, then I'll be happy. But from what I have seen, to be honest, so far, the few little clips I took just to trial it at the start, I wasn't overly impressed. So we'll see. And I use my phone sometimes, very rarely. Generally won't see my phone footage on YouTube, but I do a lot of my Instagram, Facebook stuff with my phone, which is Samsung S23 Ultra, which does have an amazing camera. That was the reason I bought this phone, was for the camera. So those are my 4 cameras. What made you choose the 200 as a tow vehicle, and what mods have you done to it? I do need to do a video on the Landcruiser. I still haven't done that yet. I want to do a full walk around, a full video on the mods and how it's set up. So I will do that. Basically, I chose the 200 series because I do know people who have them, and I just know their reputation. They are an absolute workhorse. You look at what they go through over in Aussie. They're so popular over there, and so many people give them such a hard time, and they stand up to the abuse. Toyota, so well known for being over-engineered. I was originally going to use my Ranger and do it up a bit for off-road down south, and then that Landcruiser come up for sale and it was a good price, so I bought it. So far, really happy with the Landcruiser. I have had a few problems with it. The aircon unit shit itself, and then after that the aircon unit came off, so it wasn't bolted up properly, so I lost the fan, lost my water pump, lost all that stuff. That's okay, got that sorted. Boot struts failed at the rear. It's just booked in for its second service because the service is at every 7,500 Ks. I think maybe every second service is just an oil and filter, and if that's the case I'll do those myself, so I need to look at the service schedule. Otherwise it's been a pretty good wagon. What boots do I use and recommend in the hills? Catherine Carr. Personally, I use lowers. I have done now for many years, and several pairs of boots. Generally, the quality is really good. The comfort I find is great. That I can put them on straight out of the box without wearing them in and heading to the hills, which I haven't been able to do with a few other pairs of boots. Yeah, I'm using the lower Rangers. They're a slightly heavier boot. If you're wanting lightweight, they're not really ideal, but they're just a good all-rounder. The shank is soft enough that I can bush stalk in them. but it's hard enough that I can be in the mountains in them, and they're full leather, waterproof, and comfortable, good ankle support. So that's my pick. But honestly, do your own homework. A lot of people are going for really lightweight sneakers and that in the hills now. The extra weight on your feet make a huge difference. So personal choice, but lowers are good. Are you gay? Who sent this one? No, probably like the ex-military one. I'm not sure where that comes from. Do I have gay mannerisms? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I would imagine I'm one of the least likely to be assumed gay people, but each to their own. No, I'm not gay. Do you use your oven, and have you thought about an air fryer? I do use my oven, yes, and I have been filming some cooking stuff, so you will see that I use the oven. From what I hear and talking to people, a lot of people do not use the oven in the caravan. I guess especially weekenders, it just makes sense not to bother using it and cook outside, etc. But I do use the oven, not super regular, it's not a daily occurrence, but I do like it. It's slow to cook, that's what I found. So cooking with the little gas oven, everything takes a bit longer than what you're used to at home with a standard oven, so keep that in mind. But I do use it. Been making some amazing fish bakes lately, so I will have some videos showing those. And the air fryer, I have an air fryer, or had, I can't remember if I've still got it, but I looked at the power consumption and it was just too much power to use in here on the solar and inverter setup. My inverter will run the air fryer that I had, but I think it was 1400 watts, which is the equivalent of my coffee machine, and to run that for 30 or 40 minutes is just not economical, not efficient. So no air fryers. Do you have a plan around safety, emergency / medical? I don't really know what you mean. Maybe that's bad and irresponsible that I don't know what you mean and don't have a plan, but I don't. It's no different to if I lived on my own at my house, I guess. I don't have any plan. Actually, I do. I do have a plan. In the NZMCA pack, when you sign up, they give you a medical form to fill out and they tell you to stick it underneath the sink inside the cupboard door. So that's what I did because I'm responsible. I don't know if that answers your question, but if medical staff find me in my caravan, they can go to that bit of paper. And on the bit of paper, it says that I'm a diabetic, type 1 diabetic, etc., allergic to penicillin. I can't remember what else it says, probably not much. An emergency contact number, I would imagine, which will be my mum. So that's my plan. If they check underneath the sink in the cupboard door. And if you're a caravan or van person and you haven't heard of that or done it, then do it. I guess it's standard practice, and that's where the medical staff check, so might pay to pop something, a little form in there with medical details and a contact number. What do you find the hardest about doing this alone? That's probably just the same as when you live on your own in a house. Like, you've just got all the chores to do yourself. You know, when the water runs out, you're always doing it. When the cassette needs emptying, you're doing it. When the cleaning needs done, you're doing it. But that's that's fine, it doesn't bother me. So it's only my mess I'm cleaning up, and me I'm running around after, so no big problems there. Where are all my followers from? Well, most from you. Do you mean YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or do you mean like where in the world? I think this was a YouTube one, I think. I'm gonna find out. Yeah, so as expected, the majority of my viewers are in New Zealand. 73% for the last 90 days. 6% Australia, 4.5% United States, and then some tiny little numbers from the UK, Canada, Germany, India. That's where they're from. New Zealand, mainly. Well, I think that wraps up the Q&A. So thank you very much for all of the questions, really appreciated. And if there's anything I've missed, drop it below. If there's anything you'd like to know now that hasn't been covered, just drop it below and I can cover that in another episode. If you do enjoy the travel adventures, the hunting, the diving, the caravan life, then you know the drill. Like, subscribe so you don't miss the future videos. Also let me know, I'm so far behind on video editing. So the videos that have been coming out are like 4 months ago. Like that was me doing those adventures like 4 months ago. I would love to show the stuff I'm up to now, but I've got like months of stuff to show. So let me know if you would rather I skip ahead and show current stuff, and then whenever I can feed that older stuff in from down the South Island. Because I'm currently in the North Island and I'm about to head back south. That's how far behind I am on editing. So if you'd like to see the North Island stuff, let me know. If you want to keep seeing the South Island stuff, let me know. Either way, I'm going to do my best to try and catch up somehow and get all the videos out, but at the moment I'm quite far behind. Maybe I need a video editor. So if you're a video editor and want to make some videos, I do need to get my butt into gear, but I'm up at 5 o'clock this morning making this one so I can catch up. So hopefully we'll be all caught up one day. Anyway, let me know. And I do really want to do some more actual van life stuff. I know the channel's mainly adventure focused, but I do want to get a lot more into the actual van life, so that's why I have been doing a bit of filming of some cooking and all that sort of stuff. But stay tuned, and thank you very much. I really appreciate all of the support, and the channel is growing thanks to all of you watching, so I appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.